Guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do Versus by Image Comics, made by Ivan Brandon and Esad Ribic. This is a science fiction story that I have the trade paperback, and now I have also the floppies. It's been a while also that we have come back to this series. There's reasons for that, but the reasons is too many comics. And so I thought to myself, let's go back because there's 5 issues, there's 4, so let's complete it. And then we see where this is going. So our hero, Flynn, is, still popular, and he has some new gear by his sponsors. And he says, I do not like this gear. It feels too much, doesn't right. But then this guy who is, I believe, his publisher, client, or whatever, the one that, helps him with all these things, says, hey, you need to do it, go outside and be a hero for the masses. And that's exactly what he's going to do, but he's not very happy about that. And look at this. This looks stunning, right? Also, the narrative says, what old is new again. New sponsors, top secret gear head to toe. Satta Flynn had a wartime makeover. And his eyes looks like, oh, worship me. Well, anyway, and he is also meeting up with this one of his buddies that he is fighting alongside with for a long time. And then I believe these people are the sponsors or very higher ups that likes to control things. There's a problem with this comic, and the problem is identity. I'm coming back to that a little bit later. So let's say we're going to go through the story, then I'm going to talk about it. So, and then we have his new opponents, because normally he's in a team. Now he's only with two, with the Mama, that's his companion, his teammate. So we have here the competitors, the Road Widows, the Invisible State, and the Unnamed from the Quiet Sea. And this looks really awesome, man. Looks really cool. And so they're having a chat here and there. She says, hey, stick with me. And then they go into these tunnels, and then immediately they're fighting. And like I said, I love the art. Art is very good. So they made some tactical decisions here, how to approach things. And then, this is happening. And Mama says, I want to say the narrative, but that's not the case. There's all cameras around it, all drones. And there's people just like in wrestling, do the commentary. And because this is a, survival sports entertainment world. Like with the movie with the girl and the bow. I forgot, the Hunger Games, something like that. But then instead of it's just a game, their whole economy drives on a certain kind of people that doing these things over and over, and winning land, prizes, money, status, stuff like that, things to survive. And these commentators says, I can't believe it. Flynn is back. He's tearing through the opposition here. Don't call Mama out. That's an 8-point bonus for using an enemy's gear for a takedown. I love that. I love the commentary. And also Mama says is, hey, well, she's glad that he is back, and that she's fighting with him again, and also that saying that to him, and that this is the Flynn that she remembers. But then this is happening. Somehow the suit has a mind of his own, and Flynn, totally bewildered, doesn't know what happens, and Mama kicks him away. And then the narrative or the commentator says, ouch, right in the thoroughfare? What is happening? I'm on the edge of my seat. So there's stuff going on. And the problem with Flynn is that Flynn is an old dog. He is, still very massively popular by the people. They love him. He's way past his prime, but somehow he clings, I guess, through that a reverence of his image and his wealth. Well, not wealth, but more like relevance, I think. But it seems that he's way out of his depth at some point. And that's also a little bit the problem with this comic. The comic doesn't know what it wants it to be, because we see Flynn here in action many times in 1 through 4 like this, but we don't know what he wants, what his goal is, why people love him, why people are against him, because there's a people, like this. So somebody made the suit for him, and then the suit is going haywire. Is that intentional, or is it just pure coincidence? I don't know. But, stuff is happening, and even the suit tries to kill him, and then he rips off his, his cybernetic arm. But since he's linked with the arm, it also gives him a lot of pain, etc. And then he's getting hit by one of his opponents, some kind of a robot car, and then Mama is helping him again, and then one of the cars are moving to him, and he says, "Glory for the people." But before the impact, he's being saved by this woman that has been, I believe, tried to take his position somehow. So there's some kind of a rivalry, but also not. It's a very little bit confusing. And so she takes him away. And but then the suit is acting up again and attacks her as well. And she says, "Eddie's lieutenant." And she's now the major. So, okay. So she is in run for his position, I guess, through the books, because she has been, worshipping him in a way, wants to be him, surpasses him. That's very important for him, because he's coming from a certain kind of family, and she worked herself up. But now, things are going haywire, but I'm not entirely sure. And Flynn says, "Hey, don't get too close." And she says, "I'm not at risk here, but you're obviously in trouble." And then all of these broadcasts says, "Hey, stand by, please stand by." Is it here somewhere? Nope. Anyway, moving on. So the tech cannot get a grip on what's happening. So she's pushing him away. Enemies are still there, although we don't see the enemies. So they are going to fly again. But somehow her suit is also acting up weird. So they're falling. And then, this is happening. So the suit that she has tried to, that she's wearing, I believe it's also cybernetic or alive. And she says, "Device shut down, Delta 9 to 7. Get out of here, suit's glitching out." And she said, and then the commentator says, "Is she aiming at Flynn?" And then Flynn also acts, in retaliation. He says, "I don't have control. I'm sorry for all this. This suit," she says, "we trained for you. You were the metric when we started. My whole generation to live up to you. And then we're experiencing technical difficulties." But then even the higher ups are a little bit in panic, and they say, "Hey, this is not the plan." I still don't know what the plan is, by the way. And she says, "And then surpass what you've done. We got past your stats on version 12. This is version 55. So basically they are supposedly better than him, I guess. But that's not the case. And so they are both in trouble somehow. And then she says, "If you don't run now, there won't be a way." I'm not sure what she's meaning. What she's meaning with that. What do you mean, a way? A way to live? A way to surpass? I don't know. But Flynn says, "I cannot move." And then he's grabbing the rock and hitting himself, I guess. Or maybe the suit is doing that. It's very unclear. But then the visuals is ramping up, and look at this. There's a new threat. This looks amazing. Holy shit. Awesome. And then they say, "What is that thing?" So the woman says, "I don't think it's me. Somebody wants you dead. This factory leads outside the walls, outside the peak. The comms aren't wired out here. Do you understand?" And he tried to get away. He says no. And then he's getting grabbed and, I don't know, painfully hurt. So she's aiming at the robot and then, destroys it. Well, the higher-ups are pretty angry and said, "This is not what I asked for." And then this woman says, "No one can find out you're here, Flynn, good or bad." She scratches herself with a rock. I don't know. Glory for the people. And then we see the explosion outside of the peak here, out of the wall. It looks great, but at the end, I still don't know why and what and how. And then we see some well, I want to say in game, but that's not the case. In comic ads, if you will. So yeah, I like that as well. I mean, what is this? Music milk that you can get? It's very funny. Yeah, the problem is the identity. Because there's only one issue left, that means I have no clue how it's going to pay off. Because normally you would have a couple of bad guys or one baddie or a suspicion that somebody wants him dead. Through the whole book, as things are happening in the previous issues as well. And although I praise the comic because I like the art and I like the setting, this whole sci-fi stuff that I'm really actually invested in, there is not really a flow of storytelling that keeps me engaged. Basically, it separates me because we have Flynn here, right? Flynn is the quote-unquote main protagonist, but again, we don't know what he wants, what his goal is, except for, being the best, what he is doing. Then we have a group of people that has some politics and inside schemery. Still don't know what that means. And then we have this woman in black, I believe she's called Evie or something, that wants to prove herself to be better than Flynn. Although they are opponents, they are also helping each other. So it's a little convoluted. So in that case, I cannot give this a comic a thumbs up. Art is great though. But yeah, I'm having trouble to get invested in this. And the problem is now we have only one issue left that needs to come together with a lot of, I told you before in other comics, when everything's building up and then there's only one issue left and there's so many questions to be asked and we still don't have the answers, it's not going to pay off. I hope I'm wrong, but we were going to see. Guys, this brings us to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching as always. See you next time.